Starhawk is a PS3 exclusive and the successor to Warhawk, which was a multiplayer-only game. I typically avoid most games like that because they become clustered with annoying jerkweeds who become so good at it that they just discourage newcomers. Starhawk, on the other hand, is a third-person shooter with elements of space combat, and it does have a campaign, so it eases players into it to allow them to get better at it. The plot is set in the far future where people have colonized another galaxy to collect rift energy from the planets, as it is their most valuable resource. The rift energy, however, is very dangerous as it has caused many people to mutate into savage humanoid creatures. Two rift miners named Emmett and Logan come into contact with the unstable rift energy, and it causes Logan to mutate, but Emmett was saved in time, but still has a few scars, both mental and physical. Emmett gives up mining and becomes a mercenary along with his new partner, Cutter. The two are called by one of the planet's mayors to help stop a handful of mutant attacks, and they ultimately realize that Logan is behind it all. Okay, so the plot isn't very memorable or sensible. It's far from the worst I've ever heard, but not quite one of the better ones either. So the coolest thing about the gameplay is that Emmett can drop helpful structures such as turrets and supply bunkers during combat, as long as he has enough resources. Combat is still fun, no real complaints there, except that the weapon select doesn't pause during the gameplay, so it can be an issue if you're under pressure trying to select a specific weapon. Fighting enemies is very satisfying, but they don't take full advantage of the mutant possibilities. They can still use guns and control vehicles, so there's not much of a difference except for the occasional big brutes that appear every once in a while. Emmett can also drop a variety of vehicles at later points in the game, and these also come in handy. The main vehicle that the game is named for is the Hawk. Emmett can use the Hawk to stomp on ground enemies and also take to the skies to engage in combat. It's pretty enjoyable. You basically have the usual shooting and dodging, but I also found the collectible weapons to be very useful as well. When you're not in the sky, Emmett has an arsenal of weapons as I've mentioned before, but he does have to recollect most of them for each story mission. And that's essentially the single-player experience, but there is also a big focus on multiplayer. You can invite a friend for co-op, or you can find an online match to join. The games are the usual capture the flag, deathmatch, defend the base kind of thing, but I was actually really enjoying them for a bit, and I don't particularly like multiplayer games, so I'm probably not the right person for a full overview on that. The rest of the game is still very likable from start to finish. The mission cutscenes are very well animated, and I also like the appearance of the settings. It's sort of like a space western sort of thing set in a few colorful alien worlds. The most that I can say about this game as a whole is that I like it. It's got a few innovations, but the rest is still pretty simple. If you like aerial warfare and empowering third-person shooting, then I'd say it's definitely worth a look.
Last time I saw you, I think 10 years? And just like that, you're back, huh?
Yeah, just like that.
Well, you're here now.
I'm here to finish the quota.
Emmett, the tug is inbound.
Is that Cutter? How is he?
Still has bad timing. Just gotta take care of this.